Hello, everyone. How are you today? My name is Rodrigo Gutierrez Carrascal. I am studying this master degree with UNAP University, and we are working in a specific course that is language curriculum development. And the intention today is make a report, a final presentation about what we did during, this course. Okay, so first of all, I would like to use a slide presentation in order to have a guide during the presentation and follow some specific, topic that we need to, talk inside this presentation. So we are in this step number 5, that is case presentation. That's why I need to do this presentation for all of you, just to be checked, just to be, great. Let's start with this part. Step number 5, case presentation. In activity number 1, select the curriculum of a educative institution or a course or a program of study and make a deep analysis of it. This was a part of the activity. That part was proposed to our tutor, and I gave my point of view about this part using a specific um, chart. I'm gonna use the word chart, and according to that chart, I was filling some information related to what the activity guide asks at. Okay, so for the next one, activity number 2 is this one that we are working now. We need to make a video, and in that video, we need to account for the whole process carry out. Um, we need to include, present the final solution proposed to overcome the problems, present some conclusion about their implementation and analysis, present some reflection about the work processes, and present a report about the development of this course has contributed to the research process you are conducting in the master programs. So, my dear, let's go to the first part because I want to mention step by step what we did during this course. I mean, during language development, I mean, course. So let's see. The first part is account for the whole process carry out. So I want to mention this part because in the step number 1, case preparation, we got a specific objective. Okay, on the learning objective is to recognize issues in the development of the language curriculum, to visualize ways of enhancing English language teaching and learning in both theory and practice. So that was our first objective of this, task or this step, case preparation. And inside of that, we need to talk about the meaning of language curriculum development. That was some interesting exercise because we got a lot of information, videos, reference, bibliography reference, in which we need to read a lot, and after that, make a special of construct your own, I mean, meaning of this, word, that is language curriculum development. Also, we have the chance to um, check a case study. As you well know, in this process, um, we had a specific case of a study that we need to check, that we need to review, that we need to read, and propose something related to the activity guide. So let's go to the second, I mean, step or step number two, that was case discussion. So in this part, we got two, I mean, learning objective. As you can see, we got the to this the bits of the contribution of scholars and researchers in the evolution of the curriculum in language pedagogy. So, and the other one was to relate problems of English teaching and learning to the curriculum to boost strategies that address those problems. And in this part, we have a special mission. I said a special mission because we need to build a timeline or a presentation in which you can include the change or evolution of the curriculum and language education. And that was a nice experience because after reading some specific material, specific articles, you got all the information, and according to that information, you start, organizing that information in a presentation. But that presentation was related to use a specific tool. So in this case, I remind that I use up uh, Presley, Prezi, yeah, Prezi. That was uh, the tool that I decide to use just to make that presentation like a storyline or timeline in which you establish on a specific period of the time, something that happened with the language curriculum, and that evolution was, I mean, fantastic because you appropriate new information for you. And with that information, you start, being like critical thinking and being, more analytic with the information that we read. So, in this part of the task, that I mean step number two, we continue working with the case study. But in this time was with a specific, I mean, instruction that the tutor, I mean, uh, addressed to us. Okay, so let's go to the next part, that is step number three, case argumentation. And with this one, there are two objective, learning objective two. I mean, no, one learning objective that was to examine the epistemological and physiological understanding, I mean, let me see, on the premise of the language curriculum and his process of design, implementation, and evaluation. So this part was really interesting because as a team, as a group, we were working in an individual and collaborative way. So there was two parts in this, I mean, in this step. And how the philosophical orientation stay by Hans Stern in his theory of the curriculum have impacted the language curriculum. And the other, evaluation, is a process of gathering numerical and verbal data of a process, situation, or object by means of different instruments with specific aims, judging, measuring, and enhancing. So um, I consider that in this part, in this step, case argumentation, I feel, I felt comfortable because I had the opportunity to exchange information with my fellow, with my classmate. And according to that, we built a specific graphic designer. Let me see. No, it's not like that. I We built some information that at the end. uh, only one of us went to, I mean, to upload the information, the final report, I mean. But during the activity, everyone participated in the photo, including the information that the tutor asked. And after that, at the end, only one of us decide to collect all the information, socialize in the forum, and send the final report to the tutor. Okay, so let's see this part in the step number 4. That is was recently the case of decision, and in this part, to criticize. Well, the objective learning of this part was to criticize curricular models and approach in light of new theories, methodologies, contextual needs, and disciplinary programs that uh, permeate the current curriculum in English teaching. So this one was fantastic, and in which we have to design a graphic organizer. So everyone was working on that and using different tools. I proposed one of them, but I decided to use a different one because I had some problem with the link because it wasn't public at the beginning. So the teacher said, "Okay, Mister, you need to uh, be sure that the link is in public because I need to check it." So I was using different tools, but at the end I decided to change with another tool because it was complicated for me. I was creating that, and I can open that objects, but not the tutor, not my classmate. So that's why I decided to change it. And in this part, we decide as a group to work with backward. That is an approach that we decide that was um, the ideal for the task that we were performing. So it also includes the case of a study. As you well know, this process was always with the case study, not only in the first step, but also in the second one, the third one, and the fourth. So, but how about in the fifth? It was a kind of different because I mean what the teacher required us or asked was totally different. Okay, so let's continue with another, I mean, a specific point that the teacher asked. For example, with the account for the whole process carried out in the step number 5K presentation, we got this specific learning objective to propose theoretical and procedural principles that fully meet new educational, and the other needs to need context with a framework of a curriculum evaluation. So we need to select the curriculum of an educative institution, a course or a program of study, and make a deep analysis of it. I decide to choose a curriculum of a university that is in the on the paper that is done the university, and after that I use a chart that one of our classmates shared in the forum. So I use that as a model, and I start completely or full all the information requirement inside that chart. So we need to use a rubric. That's why I say that not only was quantitative but also qualitative, because use both inside the rubric that we propose to this exercise. So, and at the end, the teacher asks for a report the case that you have been tackling. In this case, that was related with a specific question that we have inside the inside the course, and that question was the opportunity that I have to continue with this tag because I I want to be honest with myself because when I was in doing case or step number 4, I was a little confused. So, and I was a little confused because I was working with the subject, with the course, um, pedagogical mediation, uh, a situation that one of my group in the university was leading, and I decided to work with that group because they need to reinforce some specific skill like reading and writing. And I said reading and writing because inside the classroom, the student um, had an activity, and during the activity, they start asking me, teacher, can I read the information that I wrote? And I said, yes, no problem, you can do it. And when they start writing, when they start reading the information that they wrote, it was kind of difficult for them. And I wonder myself why they feel like that. So I decided to propose something inside the class. So a previous reading before the class. And during the class, or at the beginning of the class, they were talking about that previous reading. So they said, well, teacher, the reading was fantastic. And they started giving their point of view. Okay. But when I asked them, okay, so now we have a reading time inside the class, the problem started again. So that was kind of difficult for them reading. So that's why I was a little confused because I say, well, what is the problem that I noticed inside the document that I want to talk in this part, and I decide to ask one of my classmates, and they say, no, it's the problem that you are working in this subject. Oh, okay, or even in the research, I mean, course. And I say, okay, let's continue with this part. Let's continue with the information that we working in the step number 2 and step number 3, and was related with the implementation of a curriculum. And, and the point was related with why designers are not, like aware about innovation approach of the curriculum. So that's why I decided to continue with this, topic during the course. So let's see. So let's present the final solution proposed to the overcome problems. So something that I want to share with you is this. To check and organize useful information that allow us building an innovative and updated curriculum. That is why it is important to know student needs, culture, context, and students, environments before thinking and implementing a new curriculum. This is the final propose that I propose to this part. Before thinking about implementing a new curriculum, think about what are the necessities that our student have. What are the necessities of the institution have? And not only is that you can identify those kind of issues, but also work with your teacher, work with the principal, work with all the people that you can involve in this process, including a student. This is something that I want to highlight in this part. So I'm going to the next part. Present some conclusion about their implementation and analysis. This is a point that the activity guide asks, and I just want to say that we can conclude that the state of decision making and talk about that part that was like step number 4. It is an important one in this process of analyze specific issue and try to find out a possible solution. It implies a time for communicating and training people before proposing, designing, and implementing an innovative curriculum. I use two keywords here, and the two keywords are communicating and training. And I will say that because communication is really important when you are working on something. If you don't communicate to those parts, to those people involved in this process, it's going to be complicated. That's why I say, okay, if I'm working in in the proposal of a new curriculum, I need to talk to the teachers, I need to talk to the directors, I need to talk to the principal, I need to talk to, I mean, those kind of people that can help me to uh, build a serious proposal because you are going to get a lot of information that is going to be useful or not for your proposal. That's why you need to hear information from those kind of people. Okay, and the other is training. And when I say training, because when you work on that proposal, when you, I mean, designed that proposal to be implemented in an institution, after that you need to train the people that is going to, I mean, use it. Okay. So if you don't do it, it's going to be complicated. You need to socialize with them the information. They need to have a train for that. For example, in the exercise that I propose, I mentioned that in the institution that I work, in the university that I work in the afternoon and night, I said, well, they were working in a new proposal related to the curriculum because they were making some changes. So um, at the beginning, they decide to think about some aspects or criteria to the, I mean, to build that curriculum. When they decide that, they also create a rubric just for selecting an editorial to get some material, didactic material like books, and they invite um, editorial like Pearson, Macmillan, ELT Empressor, National Geographic, many of them, and they were using a rubric, and with the rubric, it had some criteria, and the criteria say if the material that they propose have, a special technology to be used inside the classroom, okay, like they call like a general management system, and what are the software, something like that. I mean, some those kind of useful elements or tool that we can use in class to make a class more dynamic. Okay, so after that, when they decide what was the editorial that get the first position, the editorial proposed several books, several books that can be used for, you know, higher education. So there was also a rubric to analyze those kind of books. And according to the qualitative and quantitative numerical uh, points that we got, we decide what was the best, I mean, material or books to be used in class. So that was a fantastic um, um, experience because it gives you a lot of, I mean, likes. I'm gonna use the word likes to propose new things to your student inside the classroom to learn English. And I used to learn because I mean the population that we have are going to learn. But I'm going to use the other word that is teach. Why? Because we as a teacher have the opportunity to update information, to update new, I mean, approach, um, also those kind of, I'm going to use a word that I wrote here that is those kind of teaching methods that can be, I mean, really nice if we use it inside the classroom. Okay, so let's continue with this part. Present some reflection about the world process. Okay, so talking about reflection, I just want to mention this one. Read and study updated information related to curriculum. This is, I mean, really important. If you want to propose something new, you need to read about it. If not, okay, maybe you will have some problems to understand it. And that's why I say read and study updated. Updated because there are a lot of information that you can read, but are they updated? Yes or no? Are there something that you can use this time? Okay. If no, it's not necessary to read about it. You need to find information that is updated. So another reflection that I can mention is check new trends about it. New trends about teaching, new trends about learning or teaching what? Teaching English or a second language. Um, Another reflection is analyze not only material or information, but also student needs. That's the key, guys. Student needs is necessary in this process. If you don't understand what the student needs, it's gonna be complicated. We talk about learning style, and we are conscious about that every single human being learn in a different way. So that's why we as a teacher has to be careful about it because if there are different learning style in human being, so we need to have different learning teaching. Okay? Why? If you mention that different people learn in a different way and you are only one teacher inside the classroom and you are going to use only one way for teaching, it's gonna be complicated. Okay? It's gonna be complicated for your process. That's why you need to being creative. You need to be, like multitask because you will get a lot of information just to propose to your classmate, I mean, to your students inside the classroom. So, another reflection that I said being creative and aware about the innovation approach. So, now let's take this part. I consider that is the last part of this presentation because it present a report about how the development of Discord has contributed to the research process you are conducting in the master program. So I'm going to highlight or I'm going to mention this one. For example, the contents of the course have been aligned with my research interests and objectives. And I want to highlight that the topics, theories, and methodologies that we have covered in this course have informed me and helped me a lot to improve the way that I used to research. And I mentioned the word research, but also I can mention the word that I teach, okay? That I teach and that I learn. Next, the interaction with fellow participants and thorough inside the forum have enriched my current research. That's something that is true. Sometime I mean, in the forum, and I found information that I say, okay, look up what my classmate wrote about the question that the activity guy proposed. And with that interaction, we said, okay, that is something that I can use in my classes, in my pedagogical practice. Yes. In my pedagogical research, yes. Okay, so let's do it. When the tutor proposed extra information in the forum, said, okay, guys, this information can be useful for you. Just check it. Just take a look. Okay, perfect. That's why I say that the interaction with my classmate and tutor helped me a lot in this process too. So the peer feedback and collaborative tasks have helped me to grow professionally. Definitely, that's another point that I want to highlight, and that's something that is true because, as you well know, um, this is like an individual task. This is like an individual. But you know that when you are in a process, you learn in an individual way. But there are some information that you can collect from the group that you are immersed. So that's why you say, well, when I heard my classmate participate inside the classroom, and I say, okay, that's that thing that my classmate has shared is, I mean, really useful for me. Is something that I take. Okay. When the tutor, when the tutor share, I mean, a feedback about some information that we have shared, is, I mean, one of the most important thing because we said, okay, we are writing. I mean, we are walking um in this in the right way. Yes or no? Yeah, sure. If not, you say, okay, I need to correct this. And finally, the course has influenced my research design, data collection, and analysis. And that's another thing that I mean, highlight because with the reference on the books, articles, and all those kind of material that the tutor shared with us, it was really fantastic for um, my study, for studying this master degree. So, my dear, that was all the information that I want to mention in this presentation. I hope that my teacher or my tutor can check it and make the feedback that teacher you want to do. Okay? Have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care.